Twined knitting, or two-end knitting, refers to a method of using two working yarns that are alternated and twisted together between each stitch to create a firm fabric. It also creates a decorative twisted effect on the back. Here's how to work an S-twine. I'm doing two color work and I'm making this vertical stripe, so I'm going to knit alternating blue and white stitches. I'm going to always put this yarn that I just worked down and then wrap the next yarn over it as I'm working my stitch. The last yarn I worked is going to go down and the new stitch is going to go over it. Down, over. This is creating what looks like an S twist on the back of the work and is creating a decorative column of stitches on the front of the work. It's always important to remember to twist your stitches in the same direction throughout your round. As you're working, that twist needs somewhere to go, and it's going to go into your working yarn, and that can get a little bit cumbersome to work with, but you can easily twist it out. And here's how to set up your yarn so it can do that. You'll take out enough yarn to work your next round, and then you'll take both ends of the working yarn and you'll make a slip knot. You'll put a spare double-pointed needle through that slip knot, tighten it just enough, and then work that needle into both sides of that ball of yarn so that it's nice and secure. So you can hold it suspended, and when you're ready to untwist it, it'll just untwist nicely, and then you can get more yarn as needed. You can continue to create decorative effects by changing the direction of your knit stitches or into purl stitches or the direction of your twining. Here I'm going to make an S-twine braid. So I'm going to bring my yarns forward so that I'm purling. Then I will knit into opposite colors. So where I was knitting into a blue stitch with a blue yarn before, now I will knit into a blue stitch with a white yarn and vice versa. I'm also twining clockwise. So this time, because I'm on the front of the work, that means I'm bringing my new stitch under rather than over. So where I just made that white stitch, I'm going to lift the working yarn up just slightly. I'm going to grab the blue yarn from underneath, and then I'll work my purl stitch. And then I'll pull the white yarn from underneath to create my S-twined braid. To work the Z-twined braid with purl stitches on the front side, again, I'm going to change the color of what I'm knitting into. So I'm going to knit a blue stitch into a white stitch and a white stitch into a blue stitch. And instead of pulling from underneath, I'm going to wrap over. The direction that's counterclockwise or clockwise depends on what is facing you. But again, what matters the most is that on the round that you're working on, you're going to work in the same direction every time. So that has created this lovely braided effect. To work Z-twine, I'm going to knit my stitches, and at the back of the work, I'm going to bring the next yarn underneath the working yarn of the stitch that was just worked to create the Z-twine. That's always going to go under rather than over. That's going in a counterclockwise direction. I can already tell after knitting just 5 rounds that my fabric is a little bit different. Your knitted fabric is going to interact with the direction of the twist of both your twining and your yarn to create an effect in the final fabric. Try it out and see what works best for you.